You've got the problem fitting your vocal into the mix? Watch until the end and you will find the solution. One of the biggest problems during processing vocals is wrong equalization. I want to show you right now really standard EQ setting, which I saw so many times during my workshops, working with other sound engineers. Mostly people say cut off low end, add some air, and of course cut some mid-range. Let's listen to how those typical settings sound in our song.
Haven't felt that for some time. Turns out I don't wanna die. Haven't felt that for some time. Turns out I don't wanna die.
For sure, we've got clearer vocal right now. So is it only about the clarity? No, it also needs to have really nice tone. And the critical mistake here is that people trying to cut off that low end from the vocal, usually they loop a small part of the vocal and they cut off that low end until they don't hear it. The problem is that the vocal never stays at the same note. In some parts people start singing higher, in some parts lower. So when we cut off the low end, the higher part sounds really flat and empty. Additionally, we added some high end to make it more airy, and then we need to add de-esser because it's too much. Let's try to do something different. Before you add the high frequencies, just be sure that you don't need to remove any mid-range frequencies in the vocal that are making it muddy. The second important thing, in some cases, also guys, consider to use dynamic EQ instead of static. Let's cut off low end.
Turns out I don't wanna die.
Bit of high frequencies also. Later, when we compress the vocal a bit more, it will fit better. That's really gentle cuts. I didn't cut in the previous example, almost to 180 Hz. And now I'm trying to find that frequency which makes this vocal not so nice in the mid-range. And now, let's make it dynamic.
Haven't felt that for some time. Turns out I don't wanna die.
Now that EQ is reacting actually to what the singer is singing. If he sings lower and we hear more those unwanted frequencies, he cuts a bit more. If he starts singing higher, it almost doesn't react. Personally, for that kind of settings, I prefer de-esser. Most people recognize that de-esser is only for high frequencies. De-essing, yes? But I very often use for different frequencies. If I hear something wrong with the vocal, mostly I go with the de-esser. It really doesn't matter what kind of frequency.
Haven't felt turns out I don't wanna die. Far away from all.
Let's compare with our initial version.
Haven't felt that for some time. Turns out I don't wanna die. Haven't felt that for some time. Turns out I don't wanna die.
My opinion, the first settings even make our vocal worse, not better. It simply removes low end and makes it harsh. So my advice, before you add something, be sure that there is no frequencies that should be removed. Don't use the same settings to all your vocals. It depends from the microphone, room, vocalists. They all sound different. Always try to listen that vocal and find the frequencies that you don't like. If something works for you once, it doesn't mean that will fit to completely different vocal. Making wrong EQ is not only one mistake that we are doing during our mixes. To be honest, there is a lot of different stuff. Check out my new course, Most Common Mixing Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. In this course, I collected typical mixing mistakes and show you practical solutions. Now it's on pre-sale, so you have a chance to get it in the best price. All details below.